Okay, Mark Barrett here. I'm here with Cape Yachts at South Wharf Yacht Yard. I'm on the 2023 BENETEAU Oceanis 34.1. I'm going to give you a quick walkthrough and go over some of the features of this great new model by BENETEAU. The most striking feature on these new models is the dual helms. One of the great advantages of this, obviously, is the access to the water. There's no big wheel to be right in your way. That combined with this fold-down swim platform gives you great access, whether you're getting in and out of your dinghy, whether you're swimming, fishing. It's really a great asset. So we'll start here. The starboard helm is sort of the control station for the boat. You see there's the B&G chart plotter, and all the instruments are connected to that. So you see depth, speed, wind direction, and speed, everything on that one instrument. To the right there is the bow thruster. That's a really nice feature to have for tight quarters handling. You see the engine control down here. Very simple, no key needed, easy on and off to power the Yanmar diesel. This boat's powered by a 3-cylinder Yanmar, has a 34-gallon tank, probably burns a half a gallon an hour, so you probably have 60 to 70 hours of range in this boat under power. Here's a control to the windlass up on the bow, so you can raise and lower your anchor rod from here. Here's a single lever engine control. So this is a really nice feature to have too on a boat. It just makes maneuvering a lot simpler and takes away the mistake of revving the engine too high when you shift and possibly damaging the transmission. It's almost impossible to do with this type of system. Right next to it is it's a dock water inlet. If you're at the dock, you can plug right in to the shore water and not use your supply on the boat. This boat has a lot of water. It comes standard with a 62-gallon tank, and then there's an option to add another 34-gallon tank, so you can have almost 100 gallons of water on the boat. You see these two shore power inlets for electricity. This boat's equipped with air conditioning, so you need that extra input. Below that is that's the cover to the manual bilge pump. It's always right near the helm on a sailboat, so you can pump, steer, and pray all at the same time. You see on the other side, we have, there's also instrumentation on this side, redundant. In this door, we have this is actually the locker for the propane tank for the stove inside the boat. Here's a great feature that you're going to use more than anything, is this cockpit shower, hot and cold pressure water. Nothing like jumping in off your boat and then hosing off with some warm water. You also notice there's these seats here, so these you can either steer from a standing position or fold down the seats. If you're wondering what that cover's for, that's the cover to give you access to insert an emergency tiller. So you use a winch handle to undo that, and then there's a L-shaped emergency tiller in case something goes wrong with the steering cables. You see the winches are right back here, the two primary winches. So it's very easy to handle the boat single-handed. You can tack the boat and then you just walk over to the other side. That's another great advantage to this setup. It's so easy to move. You can steer from up high on the windward side, or if you like to steer down low on the leeward side and watch the sail trim and stuff from down there, you can do that. You see there's also a big, very sturdy, robust table with a built-in cooler here. So you fill that with ice and your ice-cold beverages. This table's very sturdy, pops up very easily, up and down very easily, and you can sit 6 people at this table, no problem. There's also really a gigantic storage locker here. So this is a really nice feature. I mean, this is cavernous. You see, this boat is brand new, so it's sort of it's not all rigged up yet. It's sort of halfway rigged. You see, there's no boom on it yet. Obviously, no sails, but we're in the process of getting it ready. Let's go up forward. You see these nice, really wide side decks. Chain plates are externally bolted to the side of the boat, which is the strongest way to have rigging. Nice clean decks, very easy to move forward on. See up on the bow, there's the head sail furler, anchor locker. There's a quick electric windlass with a remote control. Down the starboard side here. This boat comes with quite a few different options. You can get the in-mast furling system or a regular hoisted main. This boat came through with an electric winch on the port side that you operate with these switches right here, and a standard 2-speed winch on the starboard side. Another nice feature I really like on this boat is the companionway entrance. So sailboats have finally figured out, do away with those drop boards, which can be a nuisance. So you have these really nice plexi doors that stay open by magnets. All right, so let's take a look down below. Okay. Right away in here, you're struck by how much light there is down below. There's overhead hatches and these windows in the side of the hull, which really make this airy and light down below, combined with this light Alpi wood. So you don't have that claustrophobic feeling you get on a lot of sailboats. Also, you'll see here, there's a ton of headroom. I'm 6'5", so you can see that. Actually, that's a joke. I'm only 5'7", but I think there's at least 6'3" or 4" of headroom all throughout the boat. So moving forward into the forward berth, you actually step down a couple inches, so the headroom remains good up here forward. Very big V berth. I mean, that's at least 6'4", 6'5" in length. Once again, there's really nice light in here. There's covers for all these windows. There's an overhead hatch. All the overhead hatches have screens one way and shades the other, which is really nice. Behind the doors, there's big storage lockers on both sides here. Yeah, so both sides have a lot of storage. Easily, you can see you could put a family of 4 on this boat for weeks at a time. There's plenty of room. You see this long settee on the starboard side. Another big table in here that you could easily seat 6 people easily at this table. A lot of storage inside. The boat's designed by French people, so there's always somewhere to put your wine bottles. This side has this is the nav station, so a nice compact nav station, very simple switch panel, easy to understand. This cushion comes out so you have a forward-facing seated nav table with plenty of room to put stuff, and it opens up so you can store stuff in there. On the starboard side is the L-shaped galley. You see a 2-burner propane stove and oven. There's a really deep refrigerator, and it's got a little freezing unit here so you can freeze meat or make ice cubes in there. It's very deep. Stainless steel sink. There's a pump, a foot pump here, and so you can, and also hot and cold pressure water. So in the event that somehow that wasn't working, you can still access the water tanks. As I mentioned, you can carry, if you get the second water tank option, even 60 gallons with one tank is plenty of water. You can access it if for some reason the pressure system wasn't working. You see here there's plenty of drawers for silverware. There's a lot of storage down below the stove. So really nice setup. One thing BENETEAU always has is a nice setup for your garbage, which a lot of boats neglect that, and you end up with a garbage bag tied to a handle somewhere. Over on the port side is the head. This boat came with the electric head option. Really nice setup here. Opening port. This boat has a full stand-up shower stall that's gigantic for a boat this size. And you have, it's separate from the head. You also have this door here that gives you access to the lazarette. That's a really nice feature to have because, in the pouring rain, you need to get something out of the lazarette. You don't have to open the companionway and go outside. Going to the aft cabin here. Now this is really something. Here we're on a 34-foot boat, and because of the beam, I think it's a 10'6" beam, which isn't a huge beam on a 35-foot long boat. However, it carries it all the way aft, so you have so much room back. This is a big double berth back here. Plenty of storage, and I'm standing up in the headroom. There's room to stand with the door closed and change your clothes in here. Plenty of ventilation. There's an overhead hatch and another hatch looking into the cockpit there. Now, the feature that all of my fellow amateur mechanics are really gonna like is the way the engine is set up. Just look at that, brand new 3-cylinder Yanmar. There's 2 options with this boat. You can get a 21 horsepower or a 30 horsepower. Either one's plenty for this boat to push it. But what I really love about this is there's the dipstick with that yellow tag on it. There's the primary filter right above, the secondary fuel filter right above it. You can see the primary fuel filter above that. Behind that is the sea strainer. Everything you can reach from right here. And there's actually doors on the side too for other access. But it's really, really well designed. You see the raw water pump is right there in the front with the cover on the front. Anybody who's worked on these motors for any amount of time, diesel motors and sailboats, can tell you a million stories about how tough the access is. Well, not on this boat. It's beautiful. And this motor, it'll burn, like I said before, maybe a half a gallon an hour at cruising speed. So you got a huge range with a 34-gallon tank. So one last look at the interior of this boat. Here we have the 2023 BENETEAU Oceanis 34.1 on land. So we have an opportunity to check out the underbody. You'll notice the keel, it's a wing keel. This boat came through with the shoal draft. It's a 4-foot 11-inch draft, which will let you get in anywhere around here that we sail. There's also an option for a deep draft, a little bit better upwind performance. which is a 6-foot 7-inch draft. The next thing you'll notice about this boat is the hard chine, which is a design that filtered down from the ocean racing boats, the Volvo series boats. They discovered that having this chine at this point in the hull adds to stability. It adds buoyancy right at the degree of heel that the boat is designed to sail at. Plus it also adds some interior volume, so pretty soon every production boat you see will have this feature. As I walk back here, the other thing you'll notice right away is dual rudders. And then the fact that they are canted outboard. So if you picture this boat sailing on the degree of heel that she's designed, say 15 degrees, the leeward rudder will be vertical in the water. And this has the great effect of eliminating weather helm. Anybody familiar with sailing a single rudder boat, heeled over, you can picture the rudder is not vertical in the water, and it'll create weather helm where the boat will constantly be trying to round up, and you end up sailing with the rudder turned a little bit, which creates drag, and not to mention fatigue on the helmsman, on the wheel or the tiller. This design, in all kinds of wind conditions, it doesn't matter, there's no weather helm. And I've put in a lot of hours sailing these boats, and I can personally attest to that. No matter what point of sail, what wind conditions, it always has a very, very light feel on the helm. Very easy to steer, which also makes it easy for the autopilot to steer too. But it's really a great design, and sure enough, all production boats will have this design pretty soon. But BENETEAU's been doing it for a while, and it's very successful. Also, you notice it's a straight shaft, which personally I prefer to a sail drive. You don't have all that electrolysis issues that you have with a sail drive. It's very, very direct. And then you see here, it's a 3-blade folding prop, which when you're underway, when you're sailing, that folds up and reduces drag. And believe it or not, a fixed 3-blade prop will slow you down. Might be a half a knot, but over a long period of time, it makes a big difference. So that's the BENETEAU 34.1. We do have one in stock. We actually have 2 in stock here at Cape Yachts. If you're interested, please email or give us a call right away. Thanks.